this new thing called classism. It's racism's cousin. This is what we do to hold people back. This is what we do. And we got this other thing that's also been working for a long time where you don't have to be racist anymore. It's called self-hate. It works on itself. It's like real estate of racism. Where just like that, when someone comes up and says something like, I am a God, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a God. I just told you. That's who I think I am. Would it have been better if I had a song that said, I am a nigga? Or if I had a song that said, I'm a gangster? Or if I had a song that said, I am a pimp? All those colors and patinas fit better on a person like me, right? But to say you are a God, especially when you got shipped over to the country that you're in and your last name is a slave owner's. How could you say that? How could you have that mentality?
Kanye West. This man needs no introduction. I believe Kanye West is an independent thinker. I believe Kanye West is a musical genius. And I also believe that Kanye is very outspoken. But this video is about his Sunday service or Sunday worship service that he's been doing for a while now. Kanye West, there's a lot to say about him. In this video, I kind of want to just break down Kanye West for you guys and help you guys understand what he's doing and what he's bringing forth and how incredibly biblically significant this is. Because Kanye West is luring people into worshiping and accepting the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is the RFID, but the mark of the beast also has to do with worship. And I'm going to show you guys that today. Let's get started.
Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here. Let us pray. Father God, thank you for making me righteous and accepted through the blood of Jesus. Because of that, I am blessed and highly favored by you. I am the object of your affection. Your favor surrounds me as a shield, and the first thing that people come in contact with is my favor shield. Thank you that I have favor with you and man today. All day long, people go out of their way to bless and to help me. I have favor with everyone I deal with today. Doors that were once closed are now open for me. I receive preferential treatment. I have special privileges. I am God's favored child. No good thing will he withhold from me. Because of God's favor, my enemies cannot triumph over me. I have supernatural increase and promotion. I declare restoration of everything the devil has stolen from me. I have honor in the midst of my adversaries and an increase of assets, especially in real estate and expansion of territory. When I am favored by God, I experience great victories.
So you might be sitting there right now and saying, what's wrong with Kanye West having a Sunday worship service? What's wrong with people coming together to worship God on Sunday? The answer is very simple. Sunday is not the Sabbath like you've been taught to believe. The Sabbath is actually Saturday. Why are people worshiping on Sunday? Because the Roman Catholic Church has infiltrated Christianity and tricked people into believing that Sunday is a Sabbath when it's not. Saturday is the Sabbath. And as I said before, the mark of the beast is not just the RFID chip, but it also has to do with worshiping. And for a long time, the Pope, Francis, has been trying to push to make Sunday law a reality. What is Sunday law? Sunday law will be legislation that's passed where people will not be able to work on Sunday and they will be forced to worship on Sunday. So Kanye West is literally paving the way for Sunday law to be implemented, and it is coming. His objective in this whole, their objective by using Kanye for this is to make Sunday worship cool and trendy. So most people who love these celebrities, they're going to just follow suit. They're just going to do what the celebrities are doing. And what this is going to do is it's going to cause many other celebrities to say, we should really acknowledge Sunday as the day of worship. We should really acknowledge Sunday as the day of rest. And when they do that, a lot of people who love these celebrities will jump right on board with it and not even understand that they're actually taking the mark of the beast, not just by the chip, but by worshiping on Sunday, because the actual day we should be worshiping God. I mean, we should be worshiping God every day, but the day that he set aside as a Sabbath is Saturday. And for a long time, the Roman Catholic Church has been trying to push that idea of worshiping on Sunday, Sunday being a day of rest. Kanye West is being used by the Illuminati to push the idea of Sunday law, to push the idea of worshiping on Sunday and considering Sunday the Sabbath. Pope Francis wants this. The Pope Francis wants this. Let's take a look.
Before the general audience, the Pope toured St. Peter's Square in the Popemobile, accompanied by a group of children. Later, Pope Francis was greeted in the square by a music band who played for him this joyful melody. In his catechesis, the Pope reflected on the commandment to keep holy the Lord's Day and spoke of the meaning of rest.
Il concetto di vita oggi dominante non ha il baricentro nell'attività e nell'impegno, ma nell'evasione. Guadagnare per divertirsi, a pagarsi. L'immagine modello è quella di una persona di successo che può permettersi ampi e diversi spazi di piacere. L'uomo non si è mai riposato tanto come oggi, eppure l'uomo non ha mai sperimentato tanto vuoto come oggi.
Pope Francis recalled that in the Bible, God's rest is related to looking joyfully at reality, and that this is the model of authentic rest.
La domenica non è il giorno per cancellare gli altri giorni, ma per ricordarli, benedirli e fare pace con la vita. La domenica è la giornata per fare pace con la vita, dicendo la vita è preziosa. Non è facile, a volte è dolorosa, ma è preziosa.
In a catechesis full of optimism, the Pope asked to resist the temptation to highlight the problems and instead contemplate the good things in life. He said that true serenity does not consist in changing one's own history, but in welcoming and appreciating it.
So as we can see from that video of the Pope, he wants Sunday recognized as the Sabbath, the day of worship, the day of rest. And the reason why it's going to be so easy for him to accomplish this feat is because millions of people are going to church on Sunday. All these years, they have conditioned people to get used to the idea of Sunday rest, Sunday worship. And the majority of Christians who are in the church are doing this already and don't even know that they are opening themselves up to bow down to the papal beast. And so this is something he's wanted for a very, very long time. And Kanye West is being used to bring it about in a much more quicker expeditious rate. So very important for us to consider this. I've tried to tell so many people about Sunday worship, but they want to get mad at me and they want to disagree with me when they don't even realize that they're being set up in the church of God to go straight to hell for worshiping on Sunday when it is implemented, because this is the mark of the beast as well as the RFID chip. A lot of people think it's just the chip, but that's how smart the devil is. He'll make you think it's just the chip. So if you're worshiping on Sunday, which most people are already doing anyway, you're not going to think it as being disobedient to God or being disobedient to the scriptures. This is how cunning the devil is. This is how smart the devil is. And this is exactly how the devil will deceive people into accepting the mark of the beast and worshiping him. Now, one more thing I want to say before we continue on is that you noticed earlier in the video that Kanye West had a picture of the Virgin Mary on the back of his shirt. There is a shift that is going on right now between the church and the state. And the Pope is trying to bring all of this together. And the Virgin Mary on the back of Kanye West's shirt is literally showing us how the Roman Catholic Church is coming back and history is repeating itself. So let's do a little bit of a history lesson. In 1542, which was the second half of the 16th century, there was something known as the Dark Ages, or the Roman Inquisition. And what the Roman Inquisition was a totalitarian government ruled by the Papal Rome. And what they did is they murdered and killed millions and millions of Christians for not bowing down to the papal authority. And they had many different methods of torture, many different ways that they killed people who did not want to bow down to the Roman Catholic Church authority. And when I say history is repeating itself, is we are literally being brought right back into this, okay? The Pope John Francis is going to bring this back into the world. And it's going to be part of the mark of the beast, and it's also going to be part of the one world government, where the Antichrist will persecute people who do not bow down to the Roman Catholic Church and the authority that it will establish in the last days. So this is very, very, very significant. History is repeating itself, and we need to understand history to understand our current situation.
جزيلا وأنا سعيد بهذا اللقاء ودائما نعتمد على قداسته.
La mayor parte de los habitantes del planeta se declaran creyentes. Esto debería provocar un diálogo entre las religiones. No debemos dejar de orar por él y colaborar con quienes piensan distinto.
Confío en Buda.
Creo en Dios.
Creo en Jesucristo.
Creo en Dios, Alá.
Muchos piensan distinto, sienten distinto, buscan a Dios o encuentran a Dios de diversa manera. En esta multitud, en este abanico de religiones, hay una sola certeza que tenemos para todos. Todos somos hijos de Dios.
Creo en el amor.
Creo en el amor.
Creo en el amor.
Creo en el amor.
Confío en vos para difundir mi petición de este mes. Que el diálogo sincero entre hombres y mujeres de diversas religiones conlleve frutos de paz y justicia. Confío en tu oración.
Now take a good look at the man on Donald Trump's left side. If you look at the chain around his neck, he has a pendant. The pendant is of a cross and a dead Jesus on the cross. Now this is very interesting and bad for two reasons. Number one, Jesus Christ conquered death. He rose from the dead. So why do we need to see men in the Catholic Church having a cross around their neck with a dead Jesus on it? I'll tell you why they do it. They do it because they're celebrating the death of Christ. They're not celebrating his resurrection, but they're celebrating his death. That's why we shouldn't be wearing crosses with Jesus on them. Number two, it's idolatry. The Bible clearly tells us not to make any graven images. The commandments tell us not to make any graven images. And these are the people that Trump is surrounding himself with. There is a great political shift that is taking place. The Roman Catholic Church is showing its face, and pretty soon the whole world will be under the Catholic authority, the Roman Catholic authority. And this right here is proof of what is to come and where we are headed. The man had the cross covered up by his jacket, but he purposely pulled it out for people watching this broadcast to be able to see. It's the truth in plain sight, guys. Now, another thing I want to show you guys is back in 2016, Pope Francis had a religious gathering that he called Together 2016, and this is one of the promotional images for this event. And if you look at it, you'll notice the obelisk or the Washington Monument, but then when you look at it, you can see that there's a reflection of it in the water. This represents as above, so below. It's also very interesting that the monument itself is 666 inches tall. And it is also 666 inches wide. Very interesting, to say the least. I don't think that's by accident. Not at all. It's done on purpose. When it comes to these people, there are no coincidences. Now, when we look at this advertisement, it says, "Fill the mall. Jesus changes everything." You notice how changes is upside down. Now, if I were to flip this image upside down, it would say, "Everything changes Jesus." Very interesting and suspicious at the same time. I don't think that's by accident either. Not at all. Because they love to do things backwards and upside down. Same thing, as above, so below. Now, I want you guys to take a good look at the word together in this shot. When you look at the letter O, it's not just a O. It's actually another occultic symbol to the Illuminati. And that is called the Ouroboros, or the snake or the dragon eating its own tail. And what this represents to the Illuminati and the higher-ups is new beginnings. Tearing down the old world to form a new world order, the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is exactly what they want. They want a one world religion, a one world government, and a one world monetary currency. And this Ouroboros being advertised in this gathering to bring all the religions together symbolizes to me them tearing down the fabric of all the religions now to create the ultimate religion where everyone must serve the same God. But the God that they're serving is not Jesus Christ, and it's not God above, but it is the Antichrist, Satan in the flesh. This is all part of it, guys. All of this has been going on for years. The Pope has been organizing, bringing the religions together for years. This is nothing new. The only difference is we're a lot closer to it now than we were 5 years ago.
To the Vatican now, where day 2 of a historic summit addressing decades of sex abuse in the Catholic Church is underway. Pope Francis and church leaders are focusing on holding priests and bishops accountable.
Around 190 Catholic officials are attending the unprecedented summit. Survivors are demanding a zero-tolerance response after decades of abuse and cover-ups. So for more on this, we want to bring in Massimo Fagioli. He's a theology and religious studies professor at Villanova University, and that's where you join us from. Thank you so much for being with us, Massimo. So let's talk about the summit so far. It's only been one day, but some critics are concerned that they're hearing from the Pope, cardinals, bishops, other Catholic leaders, basically nice words. This is bad. Don't do it. Thoughts and prayers, reflection. But they want a conference that's actually going to result in some concrete change. Is this just a show, or do you think they're really working towards a solution here?
Well, first of all, the impression that it may be just a show, it is legitimate. Let's not forget that the Vatican in the 16th, 17th century was built to be a theater, a stage. And so some shows can change reality. And this, I believe, is a meeting that can change things because a few significant changes have happened already. The big problem now is how to hold bishops and cardinals accountable. This is something that we're still looking for a solution for that.
Massimo, the Pope has been the leader of the Catholic Church for 6 years. Some abuse survivors say that he has backed down from pushing a zero-tolerance policy. What is stopping him from fully addressing the sex abuse crisis and implementing church law on how to report crimes to local police and ultimately punish the clergy involved?
So I think the survivors have every right to be angry. I believe Pope Francis has enacted change. Let's not forget that after the election of Francis in the Catholic Church, we had a long series of bishops that have been fired by the Vatican, something that was new. We have new bodies that were created in the Vatican and locally. Now, this crisis is not a legal crisis because legal tools have been there in place for centuries. It's a crisis of leadership and it's a crisis of culture because in many countries the situation is, compared to the United States, 20 or 30 years behind, included my own country, Italy, where they are just talking right now to do something like the John Jay report that the U.S. bishops decided in 2002. That gives you an idea of what this meeting is about, is to raise the level of consciousness in churches that are different from the United States and where many things still have to be done.
Massimo, these sexual abuse allegations have been going on for decades now. And, certainly we've had these sort of more recent reports. I'm thinking about the report out of Pennsylvania that was particularly disturbing. It almost seemed like they were sort of organized pedophile rings working within the Catholic Church. What is the process to screen seminarians, and what has the Church done so far to root out pedophiles?
So the good news is that if we look at the case of the United States after 2002, which is when the U.S. bishops put in place effective policies, the number of cases has declined dramatically. So here, new systems of screening, of evaluations, of ongoing formations have been put in place. The real problem is those churches where, for cultural reasons, it is extremely difficult, if not sometimes impossible, to denounce abuses. In some European countries, African countries, Asian countries, for cultural reasons and not only church reasons. So here, the problem is not having new laws. That is simple, and that has been done, but it's to change the culture. This is the most difficult challenge, and it will take time to change a culture of denial, of cover-up, and of negligence.
Massimo, that is a great point. We're talking about changing the fabric of some of these communities. It's not just the church, but even beyond the church. Silence, shame, fear, all that stuff. How do you get rid of that?
Yeah. Massimo Fagioli, thank you so
Supernis luminaribus misceatur, flammas eius, Lucifer matutinus inveniat. Ille inquam Lucifer qui nescito casum, Christus filius tuus, qui regressus ab inferis, humano generis serenus iluxit, et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
From heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
So now we have a better understanding here of what the Pope wants and how Kanye West is being used by the powers that be to push the agendas of the Pope. But how did we get to this point? How did Kanye West, of all people, become the person that they would use to push Sunday law, Sunday worship, and the Sunday day of rest? Let's take a look.
Here tonight felt like they lost. You know why? Because y'all been lied to. Google lied to you. Facebook lied to you. Radio lied to you. Radio, fuck you. I know it's a lot of real niggas working at radio. Real people. Real program directors with wives and kids that love music, that can't play what they want to play because they've been paid to play that bullshit over and over and over. And when I say that bullshit, my life, my public well-standing at risk when I talk to y'all like this. This is a moment in the Matrix, bro. The vibes is back.
Finally here tonight, after a turbulent weekend, Kanye West is getting some help. The breaking news tonight, Kanye West hospitalized in LA. Officials confirming to ABC News that the rapper and business mogul has checked into the hospital. Authorities responded to a disturbance at 1:20 p.m. That call then became a medical emergency, and West was taken to a local hospital for further assessment, where he was declared medically stable. A source close to the star says West is suffering from exhaustion and sleep deprivation.
Y'all don't want to lose again.
This all comes on the heels of a series of bizarre concert rants, which were followed by the cancellation of the remainder of his St. Pablo tour. On stage, West has been taking aim at everyone from Beyonce.
Beyonce, I was hurt. Because I heard that you said you wouldn't perform unless you won Video of the Year over me and over How I Play.
To Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out my head.
To his own supporters.
To black people, stop focusing on racism. This world is racist, okay? Let's stop being distracted to focus on that as much.
Members of the Kardashian clan appeared tonight at New York City's Angel Ball, where their late father, Robert Kardashian, was being honored. Kim Kardashian was not there.
And tune in to GMA first thing in the morning for more details. Thank you for watching ABC News Tonight. As always, we're online 24/7 at abcnews.com and on our Nightline Facebook page. Thanks again for watching, and good night.
Just friends, and he's a good man. Doing well. Long time. We've been friends for a long time. Life. Disgusting.
I just want to take a picture right now.
With the breach of 3 levees protecting New Orleans, the landscape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people. George Bush doesn't care about black people. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Tell me about Kanye. How's he doing? Have you seen him lately?
Went to his house,
I was gonna go back last week, but we couldn't get together. He had some other stuff he had to do. But I've been to his house, sat down with him for about 6-7 hours, and just walking through his health and recovery. His memory's coming back. Yeah, his memory's coming back, which is super good. And just healing. Spending time with his family. Saint is getting big, and he's walking and playing with toys. So, you know, that invigorates him.
Do you think is he working on anything right now, or just taking
Not working. Just going through processes.
Okay, so I think this interview with this man who's a friend of Kanye West is very strange. So the mainstream media tells us that Kanye West had a mental breakdown because he exposed people like Beyonce, companies like Facebook, people like Jay-Z. He gets hospitalized for telling the truth. And then upon his release, his friend says he's getting his memory back. Something is not right about this situation. How could a person end up in a mental hospital and lose their memory? Makes no sense. And I'm going to say this because I can understand this from a personal perspective. In my life, I've dealt with mental health before. I've been diagnosed as bipolar. I have been hospitalized in my younger days because of my bipolar disorder. But not one time out of any of those hospitalizations did I lose my memory. I think they're using the word hospital as a code word for MK Ultra programming. Kanye West, I believe Kanye West was put through MK Ultra mind control programming and trauma-based mind control to turn him into the individual we saw in the video with blonde hair and a dead gaze standing next to Donald Trump. Kanye West has always been very outspoken about his blackness. He's been very outspoken about government corruption. He's been very outspoken about a lot of things. But now it just seems like he's made a total transformation into a different type of person. And as I've said many times, when people go through MK Ultra mind control and trauma-based mind control, their personalities split into two. And I think that's what's going on with Kanye West, guys. I believe this man has been put through MK Ultra and trauma-based mind control because he spoke too much truth. So they reprimanded him for doing that. And now here he is, a mind-controlled slave, pushing the agendas of the elite for Sunday worship, worshiping the sun, promoting pagan sun worship, and pushing the ideas of the poop. I felt very important to point this out. Because even his friend, the way he was talking about it, it seemed like he was just being very selective with what he was saying because he didn't want to reveal too much information. But it's strange to me that Kanye West was supposedly hospitalized. They closed down his Twitter, and then out of nowhere he comes back. He looks, talks, acts different, stands next to President Trump, and one of his close friends says he's getting his memory back. Sounds to me like MK Ultra programming. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, another thing I want to show you guys is a video of Kanye West talking about coming out of the sunken place. And if you've seen Get Out, we know that the sunken place is a place where a person is without control over their own body, but their consciousness still exists. Let's take a look.
Now that I'm up out the sunken place, I can think and I could just be yay and just... now that I'm up out the sunken place, I can think and I could just be yay and just express... now that I'm up out the sunken place, I can think and I could just be yay and just express... We got to both sign that contract, Mark Parker. I'm going to put Mark Parker all on that Summer Jam screen. And by the way, Mark Parker, yes, I will still accept an investment in Donda. I got some more ideas that don't involve shoes. But if you guys are investing in the arts, y'all want to invest in this school in Brazil, y'all want to go to Africa, I'm standing up and I'm telling you, I am Warhol. I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google. Now, who's going to be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you want to marginalize me till I'm out of my moment?
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Kanye.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Kanye.
I've been doing this more than you.
Doing what
you
more
ain't
than
got.
me? Come on, chill out.
You
bro.
ain't got the
Kanye,
answers.
relax.
You ain't got the
Bro,
answers.
I'm asking you.
You
a
ain't been doing
question.
the education,
bro.
You ain't been doing the education.
Kanye, calm down.
You don't have the answers though,
Calm down.
because you trying to give me advice about something. You ain't got the answer. You ain't spent $13 million of your own money
You're
trying to empower
absolutely right.
yourself.
Yes, but I spent hundreds of thousands and putting out clothing lines at a smaller degree. All I'm asking you,
And it ain't no Ralph though. It ain't Ralph level.
Let me ask you this: I'm asking
What's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
Kanye,
you know what I'm saying?
Because I lost money, but that's not
exactly. And I can lose money on a higher level too. Don't think just because. Don't think because I got the most or the least money.
Let me finish my question, dog.
Man, man.
Let me hear the question.
You don't have
man.
the answers.
I'm asking you for the answer. It's a question. Why is it that you can't? You have money.
I just told you I lost the money because I did not have the knowledge of how to do it the right way.
So you don't have the money to do it. That's your answer. You ain't got to turn up, man. This ain't no fucking show, man. I'm talking to you as a homie.
No, it ain't no homie, man, because the thing is, the bottom line is,
man, everybody, you ain't got to turn up you ain't got to hold up. You hold up.
Ain't no hold up.
Listen, bro.
Ain't no hold up.
It ain't got to be no hold up. I'm asking you a question.
Ain't no hold up.
I'm asking you a question.
Ain't no hold up.
What do you mean it ain't no hold up, man? We here talking as civilized people. I'm trying to understand your world because when I go to your concert, I'm curious about what you're saying. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you the questions.
Well, I'm going to explain to you what it is.
Okay, but you ain't got to turn up on me man to man, dog. Fuck these mics. We could turn all this shit off. You ain't got to do this. It's cool. I love you, bro. But you ain't got to turn up. Don't try to embarrass us.
I'm not trying to embarrass y'all. What I'm trying to say to y'all is this industry of what I'm trying to get into, ain't nobody never broke down. Ain't nobody broke down. We all slaves. So I ain't trying to disrespect you on your show. We all slaves or something.
About my show, yeah.
I ain't trying to disrespect you, period. Let me talk if you're going to have me talk. We all slaves. We all slaves. And y'all ain't experienced nothing right here but a moment from a movie out of glory. Back in the days, the slaves had enough money, they could buy their own freedom. We all say we slaves to Nike, we slaves to Benz, we slaves to public perception, we slaves to not looking, you know, what somebody gonna say after the interview. Why you let Kanye do that? You should.
I ain't finna let these light-skinned niggas come back in style. I'm finna turn this class clown shit to crazy deep. They told my mama I was bipolar, had AIDS. They don't know they dealing with a zombie. Niggas been trying to test my Gandhi. Just because I'm dressed like Abercrombie. You see? You see? That's what I'm talking about. That's why I fuck with Ye. See, that's my third part. That's my bipolar shit, nigga. What? That's my superpower, nigga. Ain't no disability. I'm a superhero. I'm a superhero.
So by listening to his music, he obviously admits in his music that he is bipolar. But the very interesting thing about this is the second song that you guys just listened to now is from an album he had put out about 2 years ago called Ye. And on the album cover itself, Kanye West says, "I hate being bipolar. It's awesome." Let's take a look at that album cover. This is a very interesting set of circumstances here, because we're looking at MK Ultra, mind control, trauma-based mind control programming. We're looking at mental illness, and we're also looking at a man that is being exploited for his mental illness. And what do I mean by exploited? Let's take a look at the next clip together.
Meditation, there's a lot of things affecting our mental health that makes us do crazy things, that puts us back into that trap door called the 13th Amendment. I did say abolish with the hat on, because why would you keep something around that's a trap door? If you're building a floor, the Constitution is the base of our industry, right? Of our country, of our company. Would you build a trap door that if you mess up and you accidentally something happens, you fall and you end up next to the Unabomber? You got to remove all that trap door out of the relationship. The four gentlemen that wrote the 13th Amendment, and I think the way the universe works, it's perfect. We don't have 13 floors, do we? You know, so the four gentlemen that wrote the 13th Amendment didn't look like the people they were amending. Also, at that point, it was illegal for blacks to read, or African Americans to read. And so that meant if you actually read the amendment, you get locked up and turned to a slave. Again, so what I think is we don't need sentences, we need pardons. We need to talk to people. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I was connected with a neuropsychologist that works with the athletes in the NBA and the NFL. And he looked at my brain. It's equal on 3 parts. I'm going to go ahead, drop some bombs for you. 98 percentile IQ test. I had a 75 percentile of all human beings, but it was counting 8 numbers backwards after it was repeating. So I'm going to work on that one. The other one's 98%. Tesla, Freud. It's going to represent that, but I also represent the world. When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word. Do you feel that I'm feeling, do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
I actually don't think you're thinking anything. I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought. And the reason why I feel like that is because Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there is fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said. And while you are making music and being an artist and living the life that you've earned by being a genius, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. Frankly, I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real. Bro, you gotta be responsible, man.
Bro, I'm sorry I hurt you.
You gotta be responsible.
No, I'm sorry I hurt you, bro.
Bro, your voice is too big. You got.
So this is very interesting, these 2 video clips that we just looked at. Kanye West has a mental illness, and the problem is they're exploiting it. They allowed him to be on live air broadcast to make a fool of himself, to make himself look like he is delusional and he is suffering in full effect from his bipolar disorder. This is not how you help a person. It's how you keep a person down. Trump and TMZ have been exploiting Kanye West's mental state for ratings, for views, maybe even for money. And it's really, really sad, because this man needs people in his life to help him get through what he is going through. Now, as we know, Kanye West is married to Kim Kardashian. He is a part of the Kardashian witch family cult. This man is obviously suffering from mental illness, and his wife is nowhere to be found. And I think, aside from all the things Kanye West has done, his dumbest decision was marrying this woman. Every person she's ever been with, black person, has been brought down and destroyed. And she is known for this. And now Kanye West has screwed himself over by marrying this woman, having children with this woman. She is a high-ranking witch in the industry, and she has no talent, she has no skills. She is famous because she's beautiful and because of her sex tape. Let's just be honest. But she's not doing her part as his wife to hold him down. She's just out there posting selfies and doing her crazy Kim Kardashian show and not standing by her husband, who obviously needs her moral support. It's crazy. Now, before I end this video, because I know we've talked about a lot, I just want to show you guys that Kanye West is a sellout. I want to show you that Kanye West is a part of the evil, satanic music industry. I just want to show you guys this before I close out this video. Let's take a look at what I have here. In this picture, we have Kanye West on the Rolling Stone cover with a crown of thorns over his head as if he is Jesus. This right here is what you call blasphemy. This right here is extremely disrespectful to Jesus Christ. Complete and utter blasphemy.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Now, this video information is from Kanye West's music video called Famous. And it seems to me that in this video, he is exposing cloning. Now, the explanation is that these were not real people. These were not the actual celebrities. But why is it that they're moving? Because the explanation of this video is that these were not real clones or not real people, but yet they're breathing and they're moving. Some creepy stuff, man. I think Kanye West was exposing cloning. These people here that we're looking at could actually be real clones, real living, breathing clones. I had to be very careful when showing this video off because there is a lot of nudity in the music video itself. And I wanted to play it safe, so I covered up everything. But this is some creepy stuff, guys. I do believe cloning is real. They want you to believe that cloning is in its infancy when it's been going on for a very, very, very long time. They've had the technology to clone for a very, very long time. And I think that's what Kanye West was exposing in this video here. Let me know what you guys think. So we've taken a very in-depth look at Kanye West throughout this whole documentary movie. And it's up to you whether or not you choose to still listen to his music. I gotta be honest, I'm a huge fan. And I tell people, listening to the music is not bad. It's not letting the music influence you. If you're a big fan of Rihanna or Chris Brown or Kodak Black or whoever, Lil Wayne, whatever, it's okay to listen to the music because the music itself, listening to the music itself is not bad. But the music can influence you to do evil. So if you choose to listen to these celebrities' music, don't let it influence you into doing evil. You can just listen to it, bob your head, and keep pushing. But when the music starts to influence you to do wrong, then maybe you should reconsider listening to some of these artists. And that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. This has been a very long, in-depth video on Kanye West, and this is going to be the start of my new mini-series here on this channel called TTP Movies. I'm going to be putting out more longer, in-depth documentaries just like this one. And if the documentaries exceed over 50 minutes, I'll make sure to add it to this playlist. TTP Movies. I thank you guys so much for joining me here at The Truth Pages and listening to everything I've had to say. Now that you have the facts, you can make a decision on what you want to do about listening to Kanye's music. I'm definitely going to be looking at him a little bit more differently now that I've found out the things I found out on him, most of which I've shared in this video. And I'll probably still listen to some of his music, but I do understand that he's being used to push the Antichrist Sunday worship agenda, which is part of the mark of the beast. So think about that, guys. Okay, so here we are at complex.com. Before I close out this video, I just want to show you guys one thing that happened recently. Now, this article was written as of March 4th, 2019, and it says, Kanye West's EMI contract states he's not allowed to retire. Let's take a look at the article. Thanks to a provision in his EMI contract that's now been newly revealed to the public, Kanye West is not allowed to retire. West's EMI publishing contract, currently at the center of a wide-ranging lawsuit, states that West will remain actively involved in writing, recording, and producing compositions and major label albums as your principal occupation. Furthermore, West must at no time during the term initiate a retirement from those occupations or take an extended hiatus in which he's not actively carrying them out. I think it's very interesting that we're seeing this when earlier in the video I pointed out how Kanye West said on TMZ that slavery was a choice, or he thinks that slavery was a choice. Mr. West, what do you think of this? It kind of looks like you had to eat those words that you spewed out when you were on TMZ talking about slavery as a choice. Well, you chose to sign this contract. So what does that say about you? The industry has turned you into a slave. Anyway, it's just something I wanted to point out to you guys after putting out all the facts and information on Kanye West. I felt the need to point this out. Maybe this has something to do with the Sunday service. Maybe they're going to continue to use him to push the Sunday worship, Sunday day of rest ideology. I think that this particular article has something to do with the Sunday service that Kanye West has been having. Just a little food for thought. Thank you guys for watching. This is The Truth Pages. God bless.